Today marks the 66th time since I have been sworn in that I've had to make a judicial appointment. Each and every time I'm reminded just how important and humbling, quite frankly, each of these decisions are, and how they, not to mention, far outlive my time in office and that of my predecessors. I want to thank the Chief Justice and the Judicial Nominating Commission yet again for all your selections. As normal, all three of these aspirants would have made terrific justices and served with distinction, and I just appreciate all the thorough work that goes into this. Our judges and justices see people on a day-in, day-out basis, oftentimes when everything else has failed, maybe when they're at their wits' end, and I am, on a daily basis, I just stand in awe about how our judges, how they do their job, and the impact they have to make Hoosier lives better. And time again, the caliber and the commitment that we see displayed on the bench in the state of Indiana is really a source of pride. That's certainly true of Judge Jim Kirsch, who is responsible for us all being here today. His retirement created this vacancy, and as you know, he leaves big shoes to fill, but I'm confident that this appointee will live up to that task. It's with great pleasure, and I'm really thrilled in getting to know him, that I present to Indiana our next Court of Appeals judge, Derrick Moulter. This guy, Mr. Molter, is a legal scholar in his own right, and he'll put his remarkable intellect to work on the Court of Appeals, where he already has a lot of experience, up close and personal. You see, he's handled a broad range of complex appellate court cases, and in his practice of the law, and you've come before this court that you will join, undertaking in your past legal work that's come before the Indiana Court of Appeals, both U.S. district courts in Indiana, and even the United States Supreme Court. Again, he possesses a remarkable intellect and a wealth of knowledge, and has become known as one of the sharpest legal minds in the state of Indiana. Maybe a little proof is you graduated from Indiana University's Maurer School of Law, magna cum laude, in the top 3% of your class. He's also authored a multitude of legal articles, served as the editor of the Indiana Law Journal, and he has leveraged, which is a good thing, lest we be leveraged by it, technology in some very creative ways and streamlined processes to make them more, not just efficient, but again, as the Chief Justice mentions over and over, more customer friendly, more Hoosier friendly. And as a practicing attorney here in our capital city with Ice Miller, which was founded here in our capital city, he understands managing a legal practice in the private sector and working with clients on both state and federal issues of great importance. And throughout his career, he's also volunteered a significant amount of his time to helping Hoosier neighbors in need. Maybe some folks that he's never met or folks he's known for a lifetime. and he's helped them navigate some pretty complex legal issues. But he didn't just constrain yourself to Hoosier soil. You volunteered far beyond our state borders as well. You remember when Hurricane Katrina hit, he traveled to Mississippi and he went door to door, person to person, asking if he could help residents, again, in their greatest hour of need, if he could help them navigate and assist them with all those urgent, necessary, vital, at times legal relief services and resources. To say that he has devoted his life to this pursuit, I actually think that it would be an understatement. I think it started before your life started. He's so well respected from where he comes from other judges and justices, and among his peers, those who he works with on a day in, day out basis. He's been described as one of the preeminent appellate lawyers in our state. Quite a statement. He's also been described as someone who has improved the administration of justice and is dedicated to, again, someone else described you as someone who has dedicated your life to improving others. He's been described as someone with personality, demeanor, and intellect fitting for a judicial position, and I, again, could not agree more. These are the traits that you'll soon hear, that come across naturally and instantly, and I think that's because of what I just alluded to. It's you've never lost sight of your roots and where you've come from in this journey where you're going. So now let me tell you a little bit about the rest of the story that has led him here. He was born in rural Newton County. You can see probably his face light up a bit when you mention his hometown, Kentland, Indiana. Understandably very proud of your hometown. You were student athlete at South Newton High School, and I'm not surprised. Class president. But even when law school took him to Bloomington, and then his legal career to Fort Wayne and to Washington, D.C., and here to Indianapolis, he never again forgot his roots and where he came from. Because Newton County isn't just where he grew up on a cattle farm, or where he learned to drive a tractor, or bale hay, or mow lawns, or clean out the horse stalls. Although that sounds like justice was being administered on you. Through it all, Newton County is where his heart is. It's where it is today, and it's where it will forever be, and where you give back. He remains an active member and past president of the Newton County Bar Association. He still mentors and provides a scholarship for South Newton students to equip them as leaders. Public service and a love of the law are themes in Derrick Moulter's life and his family tree. He's descended from a line of attorneys. His father's a judge, so maybe it's in his blood. But the first attorney in his family was his great-great-aunt, Agnes Molter, born in 1893, the same year the Supreme Court ruled women had the right to be attorneys. Great Aunt Agnes became one of the first female attorneys. And in 1933, 88 years ago, a predecessor of mine, Governor McNutt, appointed her, Aunt Agnes, to serve as the first prosecutor for a newly created district representing her Newton County neighbors. I know, as you do, Aunt Agnes is smiling down on Derrick today. So in closing, just let me say, Mr. Moulter's accomplishments speak for themselves. They are beyond impressive, and I could list more of them, and it would take up the remainder of the day. But I should say that I think the three things that he's most proud of, not just one, but three, is Katie, his wife, their three children, Michael and Samuel and Mallory. And I think perhaps, whether you know it or not, you probably do, a legal profession is in your future too. But for all these three and many, many, many more reasons, I couldn't be more certain that Mr. Molter is the right choice to join our state's second highest court. And I couldn't be more confident that Judge Molter will serve both honorably and justly as the newest member of the Indiana Court of Appeals and make his own unique mark on the court before our people. Congratulations. And move on my year out of here.
Thank you, Governor Holcomb, for those exceedingly gracious remarks. As someone who has revered Indiana's judiciary for a lifetime, maybe even longer, as you suggested, I can't begin to tell you the depth of gratitude I feel for this honor and opportunity. When I first learned of the selection, my wife asked the most natural first question: how do you feel? And of course I feel a lot of things, but more than everything else, it is gratitude and excitement. My gratitude begins with a number of people to whom we all owe a debt of gratitude, and that begins with Judge Kirsch, a man who's had an extraordinary legal career that has included almost 35 years of service to the trial and appellate benches. My gratitude also extends to the Judicial Nominating Commission, the governor, the governor's staff, for the countless hours of work they put into this selection process. No doubt their work is grossly underappreciated, yet they all go about it with such diligence and integrity and professionalism, and again, I couldn't be more grateful. I'm of course grateful for my family. As the governor mentioned, I'm blessed that many of them are here with me. My father, Dan, my mother, Kate, my mother-in-law, Christine McCauley, who's joined us from Goshen. She got emotional, my children, my wife, Katie, my children, Michael, Samuel, and Mallory. I'm also grateful to my colleagues from Ice Miller for years of friendship and for the opportunity to practice with some of the best that our profession has to offer. And I'm grateful to those friends and colleagues from across the state, sometimes across the country, who went out of their way to do so much to help me throughout this process. We often acknowledge that we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and for me, as the governor alluded to, that means I stand on the shoulders of many who have given much to public service. That did begin with my great-great-aunt Agnes, and after my grandfather finished his service in the Navy and came back to Newton County and was a lawyer, Agnes took him under her wing, where he also practiced at a firm called Molter & Molter, but was the local judicial, juvenile, and adult probation officer. And when my father became a lawyer, they took him under their wing. He practiced in Kentland as well until Governor Orr appointed him to be the judge in the Newton Superior Court when he was 34 years old, and where he continues to serve today. My first job after law school was for the Honorable Teresa Springman, another trailblazer who was the first woman to serve as a judge on the federal bench in the Northern District of Indiana. I'm often asked why I'm interested in moving from a practice that I enjoy so much to joining the judiciary. And much of the answer lies in having learned from and watched all of those folks make that leap to public service and to see the important contributions that they've made. That leads me to my second emotion, which is excitement. I've had the pleasure of practicing before our Indiana Court of Appeals, and there's not a court anywhere that goes about its work with more efficiency and a higher level of professionalism, and I can't wait to join them in that work. Part of what excites me about joining our judiciary is that it's driven by an ethos that I embrace, which is that first and foremost, judges are here to serve. I often recommend that people read or listen to Chief Justice Rush's January 2019 State of the Judiciary, which was titled Addressing the Needs of Our Customers, and obviously that made an impact on you as well. I promise we did not coordinate our remarks. Maybe we should have. She explained that we need a judiciary that continually refines and adapts itself to meet the evolving needs of its customers. She went on to explain, quote, "Yes, I said customers. It's not common for us to call court users customers. Justice is not for sale, and we don't have a product that can be changed to satisfy the needs of every person. But what we do have is a constitutional charge to provide open, accessible, and fair courts. That is achieved only when we place litigants, victims, witness, jurors, all court customers at the center of every equation, just as our courthouses are at the center of every community." I immediately appreciated the Chief's perspective when I first heard that speech because I recognized it was integral to the approach of two of my judicial role models, my father and Judge Springman. As for my father, if you ask around Newton County, you'll find that there's no more accessible, creative, or responsive public servant. And when I clerked for Judge Springman, she likewise ensured that all of us who worked with her understood that we were all there to serve the public, our customers, and not the other way around. I look forward to taking the lessons of those who came before me and doing my part to best serve Hoosiers, the court's customers, to continue the movement of delivering justice cheaper, faster, and simpler. And with that, I'll end where I began, just reiterating how grateful I am for this opportunity and how excited I am to join the work on the Indiana Court of Appeals. Thank you.
Chief Justice, that's a perfect segue to you.
Congratulations and welcome, Judge Moulter. It's nice to say that to you. I want to start off with this governor. He has appointed 66 judges in Indiana. I don't know if there has been a governor that's appointed as many. Do you know? You've got a fabulous team that's back there. I see you all. The work and the level of detail he puts into each one of these assignments. You know, public trust is important. The judiciary is the least known branch of government, and fidelity to the rule of law, having people that understand the charge that we have when we put on that robe and decide what justice is in Indiana, I can't thank you enough. You've made outstanding choices. You continue to put a lot of time and effort. I think if you want another career, we would take you in that, on that. But you've done a great job, and you did a great job today on that. It is a changing face. When I became a judge in 1998, this year we have 78 new judges that will be coming to the annual meeting in a short period of time. And I think Judge Molter is going to be sort of that face of the new judiciary. So welcome, and know that we're watching you, and we can't wait to see you grow and thrive in that environment. Judge Kirsch, I can't thank you enough. I mean, he's been a role model of mine. His kindness, he's gracious. The way he takes a case, I get to read a lot of his work. I'll get to read a lot of your work. And I always get done with a Judge Kirsch opinion and go, the detail that he puts in, the wisdom he puts in, the fidelity to the rule of law is just fantastic. Another thing I want to say about the Court of Appeals is unique in Indiana is our Court of Appeals has visited every single community, all 92 counties. They've brought justice, oral arguments to these communities, whether it's a nursing home, a tourist stop, a school. And I know that you'll continue to do that because I think it's important that people see justice at work, that every case matters, that there is no such thing as a small case. And Judge Kirsch, I know you've been a big part of doing that and moving that in the future. Teaching individuals what the rule of law looks like in Indiana at different schools, including your 20-plus years teaching at Purdue. Purdue, 33 years teaching at Purdue. So a lot of our judges have looked at not only being involved with deciding cases, but the teaching component as well. So on behalf of the entire judiciary, you're in the pantheon of great judges, and I can't wait to I think I've already signed the order making you a senior judge, haven't I? I think I have. If not, I will be signing the order making you a senior judge so you can continue. And then on to Judge Moulter. I've gotten to ask Judge Moulter a lot of questions, both from the bench when he appears before the Indiana Supreme Court, and then through a very robust process when we were going through these group of candidates and applicants. And I was impressed. Your intellect, the way that you could, I tried to throw some tough questions. I do, even from the back, I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss that because I can't question you, again, as a litigant in the Supreme Court. Such a smart, such a fine man. He understands the rule of law. He understands the discipline that comes with making the decisions. I've seen it. I thought he did a fantastic job answering the questions of the commission. We spent a lot of time vetting you. You probably had a lot of friends call and say, I heard the Chief Justice called me and asked about you. I checked on you, particularly in Newton County, and I love that he's traveled, he's worked in D.C. They love him in Newton County. I mean, I talked to former presidents of the Newton County Bar Association. He comes back, he sits down, he relates, he talks to people. So very impressive. And being a Tippecanoe County, and I stay faithful to my Tippecanoe County Bar Association, I love that you've done that, because we are our communities that we grew up in, and the fact you've stayed so connected, I think is important. So we welcome you, we welcome your family, welcome to the judicial family. You know what it's like. Judge Molter's just a fantastic judge, and I've known you for decades as well. So it was fun seeing that your son is going to carry on at the Indiana Court of Appeals. So congratulations, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Judge Kirsch, would you share some words?
It is my honor to be here today, to be with the governor, who I actually went back and nominated to the Holcomb Presidential Site Board several years ago before he was governor. Prescience in that. And certainly the Chief Justice has been wonderful in everything that she has done, since she's been here. And one of the things she omitted is that we have taught together at Purdue for a number of years now, and she is succeeding me in that role. Welcome. It is, the best career advice I've ever heard is find what you love to do in life, and you'll never work a day. And that's the way I feel. When I was in practice with Kroger, Gardis, and Regas for 17 years, and here for 27 and 6 years on the trial court, I have loved every single one of those days, and I hope you do as well. It is truly a special role. And with that, again, I thank everyone here. It is great to be with you. I look forward to getting to know and work with our newest colleague.
The judge and I would welcome any questions anyone has.